the post-mortem episode of the How Can I Keep From Singing challenge. That was the best way to start a live stream is
Wow.
yeah, here we go. So, hey, I'm Dan Roeder, composer, performer, educator, and yes, we just completed a 30-day challenge called the How Can I Keep From Singing challenge. So we have the right to be tired, right? So I would love to
We're
introduce
not
my
dead yet,
co-host.
but
We're not dead yet. I love it. Yes, even though this is the post-mortem episode, we're not dead yet.
even though it
So
died out the gates.
yes. Wait, we need that little like rainbow color screen, boop, and then start over. Hey,
Yes.
welcome to the post-mortem episode of the How Can I Keep From Singing challenge. Now that we have one viewer, I'm excited to analyze what we've done. And yes, we're both a little campy because there's been lack of sleep for 30 days. And we had a day of rest yesterday, which was incredible. And now we're actually ready to put the cap on this challenge by recording our final arrangement of it, which is exciting. We're going to do some arranging in public and then do the final take. And then tomorrow, we're moving on to something we're going to call It's 7 o'clock somewhere, which is going to be some live singing. More on that later. But over to you, Mrs. Pixel.
I'm so
Welcome back.
excited. This is going to be the fun stuff right here. So welcome to it. It's going to get crazy. It's going to get creative. Just never know what's going to happen.
Yes, and I could not ask for a better first audience member than Farmer in the Dell. Don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. So good to see you here. Yay.
Welcome.
It's going to get a little crazy. Let's talk about this song, which is actually from the realm of Pear, right? So can you tell us a little bit about what we are arranging and how folks can get the original?
Yes, we are rearranging a cover for myself to sing, and you can actually catch me singing it on karaoke. That is happening every Sunday on X Spaces, 5 Central Standard Time.
Yeah.
And if you'd like to join us, all are welcome. We do offer prizes for worst performance and best performance. You can be silly, you can be serious. It doesn't matter. We just go with the flow and have fun. And if you'd like to download our single that we're rearranging today, you can via the ink blot on the screen.
The Inkblot test.
For 69 cents on all major music platforms.
Awesome. Yeah. So we're actually, I've already got it pulled up. Let's show this little trailer for karaoke. Because it's a high energy way to start, right?
Yes, let's do
Karaoke
that.
again Sundays at 5 Central Time. So, I am already sharing something. There we go. I'm awake, I swear. I try not to swear. That didn't actually share, did it?
It didn't.
It did not. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It was very, very good. I'm so impressed with that trailer.
You should be.
So here we go. Now here's for everybody else who didn't get to see it the first time.
Come to karaoke. Come to karaoke. 5 p.m. CST. Sundays is where to be. Sing your heart out at karaoke.
There we go. You've seen it here first. And Farmer in the Dallas says, blame it on the boogie. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. Awesome. Okay. So you did mention that we are going to be doing this cover. And that is the exciting thing we're doing today. I do want to let everyone know you can still join this challenge. Even though we're in the post-mortem episode, this could be your day one of the challenge. It's a free challenge on a free challenge platform. And that platform is called nas.io. and our little secret code is keep singing, because how can we keep from singing? So here's two different ways to get to the challenge. Again, it is a free challenge until tomorrow. So the community will always be free to join the How Can I Keep From Singing community. We actually have a community on X as well. The whole thread of all of this content, like 38 hours, I need to actually get a real count. I can just kind of scroll through my YouTube for the last 30 days and tell you guys how many hours of singing instruction there is. We started with Bartinian Fundamentals of Human Movement, starting with breath. Everything starts with breath. And then we move through our physicality of singing for the first 2 weeks. And then after that, we switch to the more emotional side, the acting side, the Laban side of things, where we're talking about the efforts that we show up with. And very specifically, these efforts are combinations of weight, space, time, and flow. So there's a lot of that. I'm not going to get into that today because we got to get this arrangement done. But I just wanted to let everybody know this is the last day that it's like a pay what you want, for the challenge. I'm just going to, kind of archive it. And then it's going to be like, hey, you can do it anytime. You can start the challenge anytime. It'll still work the same way, but it's going to be $20 just because that's I have to start living in reality, I guess, a bit of like, hey, musicians have to eat too. So enough on that. I do want to, anything else you want to say about your experience with the challenge, Mrs. Pixel?
I think throughout time, musicians actually starved, and
I agree.
But we're turning a corner here with Web3.
That is exciting. Yeah. And what's really cool is that I actually was talking with a few people on X about this yesterday, and talking about how we're at this crossroads where we have to start building bridges in a lot of different directions, because things that are very opposite, if we keep like pulling them further and further apart, it's not going to be a very conductive energy for everybody. If we just kind of flip that and say, oh, okay, we're building a bridge. How can we use different perspectives and different experiences?
Yes.
Like, I'm a normie here. Well, I'm being sucked into Web3 as one of the most glorious places to be. But I knew nothing about any of this. I knew nothing about meme coins before I met you like 29 days ago.
And I knew nothing about like singing, and really, I mean, I know how to sing. No, I know how to sing like in the shower, but I didn't know all about Laban and Partinia and, all those emotional attachments and movements and like the sing chi, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't know any of that.
Well, and the mechanics of singing and how,
I didn't know how powerful that could even be. The concept wasn't there.
Yeah. No, and now I see myself as a streamer. Like, we've both had identity shifts, which is kind of cool. You're a singer. You started, you started leading with like, hey, I'm a singer. And I've started leading with like, hey, I'm a live streamer. Why not?
Yeah.
And it was kind of an epiphany for me, at least, in this whole live streaming thing. Because I even I made a post about this today, that I make all these systems. I kind of, create things, and I'm like, this is going to be so cool. And then I plan it all. And then I plan something else. And then I plan something else. And then it's like, well, where's the execution? So I just realized I have this very impulsive energy. So why not just do things in a way that's high level, in the moment.
Pull
and then
it
I don't have
down.
to go back.
Pull it
Yeah,
out of the ether.
exactly. Hit the go button. Yeah.
Bring it on.
Bring it on. All right, here we go. Let's get to this arrangement so we don't run out time. But we're going to actually this was our pre-show discussion of the post-mortem episode of this challenge is, hey, we can also simplify the things we're doing. When we're instructing and informing and experimenting in public, we don't need to do the whole thing. We just need to kind of show the sequence and make sure that everybody has access and inroads and then know where to go to get help. That's how we learn something new. We have to first have access. Well, you start with the aspiration. This is my little triple A methodology I like to use. You start with aspiration. That's got to be the drive that drives your engagement. And then we have to have the access that gets us into the thing. And then we build the agency to do something different and to say, all right, I can do this. And that's where the motivation and inspiration come together in the culmination of a project.
Yes, and now we're in a moving vehicle.
We are in a moving vehicle, and the train's leaving the station right now. So we are in Bandlab. We've already kind of got it set up. Did you hear the audio glitch again? Did that happen? Am I back?
You are. You're good, actually.
Do we still have our nice... Can't you see I'm playing guitar? It's definitely not a guitar MIDI at all. Pay no attention to the keys on the screen. All right, so what we decided to do is we're going to create our own arrangement. What you see on the screen right here. I'm going into blind mode where I am just looking in Bandlab. So if I have anybody that comes behind me and trying to abduct me or harm me, let me know, please, Mrs. Pixel. You always got my back.
Okay. Yes.
Thank you.
Like I said.
Yeah, awesome. So we have this beautiful arrangement that Mrs. Pixel. So actually, can you talk of I think where this come from? Is it something you guys recorded in a studio?
Actually, it's something that we created with AI to bring to front and center of our meme coin project prior to launching, something for our community that we could rally around and, kind of just sort of jive with it. It set a stage, it set a tone, and brought people together as part of a rev share plan for our NFTs. We thought it was a great song. We've gotten a lot of great feedback in response to it. We hit the jackpot on it, we feel. So
yeah, I agree.
As far as AI tracks go, it's not your run of the mill in our opinion. Because of the blues vibe, it sets it apart right now.
I agree. Yeah, and the tools are so powerful. And I know there's, I wanted to just kind of get this in the conversation front and center. No matter where a song comes from, we have the agency to do our own covers of it, right? So, like Mrs. Pixel was saying, it's a really nice track. Here, let me turn that off. And then there's this really nice singer too.
Life as a parent sweet, hanging on a branch in heat.
I love it. Yeah. So, and she even did an instructable video on how to take a track and using CapCut, you can, and then create your own karaoke track. So there's all of that is in the community. But today we're actually kind of taking that next step, and we're owning the song, and that's one of the things that I think is really powerful about this use of an AI generated music, because there was songcraft that went into it ahead of time. Mrs. Pixel didn't necessarily mention it, but there's that toiling that goes on where you're you're working on the lyrics, you're getting the things that are generated, you kind of mix things around, you have different generations of the generation, and then you have that craft that goes into it. So it's not like rolling dice. There's anyway. So what we're doing is just kind of taking that, and first the track was in B minor, and then we shifted it down to G minor, and this is all part of this whole 30-day journey we did, and found that G minor really suit Mrs. Pixel's voice better. So now we're going to take the first verse and the chorus, and then she's going to sing, and we're going to do our own arrangements. So, what I have right now is this is Bandlab for Education. You can join our class in the NAS.io community. Another free thing, because BandLab is free for everyone. Like I love how these services, you can get these really robust things at the free 99 level. And of course, there's always like those upper tiers where you have extra features and stuff like that. But the nuts and bolts of BandLab and certainly BandLab for Education, it's meant for education. We have a lot that we can access. So there's all these loops and everything that you can use. But we're MIDI capability. So my MIDI keyboard hooked up, and we're gonna do this little arrangement. We decided that. Well, let me ask you, Mrs. Pixel. Did you think the tempo was? We were at 112. Did you think that was slow or fast, or do you want to start there and then move it up if we need to? What are your thoughts on tempo?
We can start there.
Start at the 112. Okay, perfect. And we're going to say not adjust because we don't want it to mess with the things we already have and I just have muted right now. But then we're going to turn on the metronome, and here I'll just record the verse right now, and then we'll hopefully it'll update so you can sing on it. That's what we're trying live.
Okay.
Ooh, yeah, and here, I think I got a little off the beat because I was getting jazzy. But let's see what happens when I quantize it. See if it actually worked. We'll quantize to the 8th note, so we have those syncopations, but not be too lugubrious with how this sounds. Here's a little intro. Yeah, it got a little off, right? Let me try that again. I feel like it does seem a little bit slow. I wanted to speed up. Let's just bring it up to 114. Here we go. All right, close-ish. Let's go ahead and quantize it. And yeah. So can you? I know it's going to sound a little crazy. Well, first of all, can you see this on your? You guys are in the project, right? Can you see
Yeah.
the MIDI tracks? Like if you update it, if you hit refresh, it should hopefully update, because that would be amazing. Then we don't have to
Okay.
sound crazy. Yeah, is it showing?
It's
You might have
No.
to. It's not showing. Okay.
Save it. Did you save?
Oh, thank you, Mr. Pixel. Probably want to save it. Oh, let's see if you update it. Oh, we're waiting. If you guys want to join this community, never miss a moment, right? I can just probably
Oh,
keep that up.
we see it.
You see it. Okay. Can you go ahead and share yours, and then you can just sing right to it, and then we'll. That's the nice thing about Bandlab is we are in different states, and we can still collaborate on a track, and
Right?
that is pretty magical. So
Epic. Oh
yeah,
my
and
God.
we didn't even practice those.
I
So
know.
here we go. I mean, of course we did. There's the MIDI I just played. All right.
So how far am I going for the
I would
first?
say I think I messed up at the end of the chorus, but you can if it makes sense. You're gonna there's this little intro, and you'll hear that D chord, dun, dun, and then and that's gonna be where you come in.
And then I'm doing
Just
the
the first verse, like which is those 8 lines, and then it should go into the chorus. Um, I may have messed up the chorus though because I couldn't remember exactly how it started.
and then I'm gonna stop after the chorus there.
Yeah. And
Okay.
if it derails and you're like, what is he doing? Just do the verse. So
Okay.
really, go as far as you can. That
Okay.
makes sense. Okay.
Yep.
But I would say go ahead and now that we have this metronome, we have it in synced to the session. You can turn on the metronome, and that's one of the challenges that we talked about in one of our last episodes. So um, is that it's really hard when you have this kind of jazzy, bluesy feel to hear where the beat is. And so we were talking about we always want to hit each downbeat, and then we can kind of stretch in between. But with the metronome on, you'll be able to hear where those downbeats are.
Right. Right. I'm excited because I haven't done this yet.
Yeah, isn't it cool?
Yeah.
It's also like 7 in the morning, and I didn't even warm you up. Like, cool,
I know.
best teacher ever.
Ever.
Do you want to? Let's. We can just do like an. I like to do a Kia. We can do that. Can you still hear the
Okay.
piano?
No.
Oh, that's right, because I'm sharing yours. That's okay. So just follow my voice.
Okay.
Kia, Kia,
Kia,
Kia,
kia,
strong K. Kia,
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 kia.
Kia. Yeah, it was a nice little. We had like a round going on. It's great. So let's just sing zoo 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 zoo
Zoo, zoo,
zoo zoo
zoo, 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 zoo.
It's getting a little low, right? I jumped up an octave to try and help out. Okay, let's do the pop, this will be fun in round. Here we go. Pop, 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 we're speeding up. All right, all right. Got the air going. Normally we would do a longer warm up, but go ahead. Let's just sing this first verse. I didn't want to be 100% mean.
Like a spirit hanging on a branch, and he never just quite why the good lives passing by. Tree above the casket shade, beneath the sky I slowly fade, and the garden was dry. There's a temple kind of light. All the trials of pain in the orchard's head. Destined baskets sold. Stories left untold.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I did kind of mess it up. So awesome. Off and put on some reverb. Let's listen back. Some metronomes in the upper left. Yep. And then the reverb.
Did I come in at the right time? I was so
You
lost.
did, because it starts. Yeah,
You
it
did.
starts with life. It starts on the downbeat. You know, I think I was saying before. I was thinking like the pickup of "Oh, the trial," but it doesn't start like that. We start with the verse, life. So you did great.
Okay.
And we can analyze now, you know. So now this, you know, we're modeling this collaboration where obviously, you know, I just learned the song, so my playing will get better, and we can negotiate like, oh, that didn't hit like I was expecting it to in the track. So we'll just do back and forth. All right, let's go for it.
Cool.
I think you're still muted. Yeah, you have to unmute. Unless maybe it's not. Yeah. I think something's soloed, so just solo it. There you go. Yep. Okay, now you can. You should be good.
Life as a parrot sweet, hanging on a branch in heat. Never know just quite why the good life's passing by. Tree above the casted shade, beneath the sky I slowly
I like it. Yeah. Okay, that's good.
in the garden.
Let's stop there.
toilets dry.
So here's kind of the fun part. You know, there's things we'll clean up, but right now we're just playing. We're doing some back and forth. So what I'd like you to do is go ahead and close the effects browser, and then we're gonna go to the bottom right. So yeah, just if you close that. Now go to the bottom right and go to Bandlab Sounds, I think it says. Here, let me go back to Bandlab so I can see. Let me just say this now. One very important thing when you're collaborating, and Mr. Pixel actually reminded us of it, is that you have to hit the save button before you pass the volley, right? So if, say like I had this idea for a drum loop that I might put in while she was singing, and if I put it in and then I hit save, it's gonna overwrite her her singing, and then she might be a little sad, right? So
Yeah.
you know, and they're doing some things, and then they'll volley it back, and then I can do some things. So what I might do is I'm probably going to replay the guitar based on her voice, and now we're, you know, more in sync. But what I want you guys to do, and here, let me go to Bandlab so I can kind of do the button pressing with you. So we're in packs. If you go over right below where it says Bandlab Sounds and kind of the upper real estate of the screen, you have packs, loops, and one shots. Go to loops. And then we're just going to, if you go to the button to the right of that, the little filter button. Here, I'm not watching what you guys are doing. Yeah, okay, we're in the same place. Let me just detach this window so I can watch both. Perfect. All right. So we really want to get a beat, you know, some kind of groove, or even if it's light percussion that's going. So this is where you are hopping in the driver's seat. Are you hearing like a cajon? Are you hearing like shakers or maracas or something? We need something to get that rhythm going. But what do you think? And then we can start filtering out what we need.
A drum, maybe a little drum.
Okay, so if you just click on what it says drum kit, that's going to be your filter. And then in the search bar, just say like jazz. There's so many different ways you can filter. You can filter by genre, but we just filtered by, we know we want a drum kit, and then in the search bar, just say like jazz. There's so many different ways you can filter. You can filter by genre, but we just filtered by, we know we want a drum kit, and then in the search bar, just say like jazz. There's so many different ways you can filter. You can filter by genre, but we just filtered by, we know we want a drum kit, and then in the search bar, just say like jazz. and then you want to find something close to what the tempo you're in. So we're in 114 right now. But if there's something that you want to pull in, like the first one that came up for me is Jazz 125 4-bar, right? So drag in whatever you want, and then just listen. Like see if it makes sense with what we're doing. It'll snap it to the tempo that we're in. So go ahead and hit play. Yeah, so now go ahead and click on the loop itself and drag it over. So I would say let's not start it until she starts singing. Yeah, so actually, well, you jump to the next step, you rebels. I'm just kidding. Yeah, drag it over and snap it to that bar where she starts singing. And now go ahead and drag that over. So if you drag it on the right handle on the top, that's going to, you can loop it. It'll just keep looping the same thing. And go ahead and drag it to the end of where we were creating. Yep. Keep going. Just keep going. Just keep going. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. There we go. And now let's go ahead and listen to the whole thing. And we'll just do some analysis. I'm excited. Like, this is happening. This is happening. All right, go ahead and hit play.
Stop right there where the mouse is moving.
Oh, did it not loop? So there's two different things. If it's silent, hit. Are you're on a PC, right? Control Z. Yeah. However you undo. Okay. Just undo it. You want to make sure that you're. Let me do it along with you to make sure I'm instructing right, because I use Soundtrap and Bandlab and Ableton and Pro Tools and Logic. So sometimes they have slight differences. But let me
doing a duplication here.
Yeah. Do you see the thing that says loop? It's got the little like turly bob. You have to touch that and then drag it over to the right, and then it'll loop the sample. Did I say turly bob? Turly bob. Yeah. Other than like, if you go to the bottom real estate of the region, these are called regions. Then it'll actually just create silence. That's the trim tool. So we want to use the looper tool. And then the other thing to just kind of demonstrate is if you look at the top of our whole session, do you see that there's a red bar? If you click on that, that's going to loop just a section. So say you want to try some different sounds to get a good vibe. Yeah, yours is like the first couple measures. So it'll just loop that, whatever's in there. You can drag things in, drag things out, play around. And this is a really good way to construct an actual full beat. We're not going to demonstrate all that today because I think we're kind of getting to the tail end of this little demo, this post-mortem. But I say, Miss Pixel, we can just keep kicking it back and forth. Let's listen to the whole thing, as it is right now.
Okay.
And yeah, let's go for it. The one thing you do want to make sure is that when you're moving these regions around, that you snap them into the measures. And it defaults to snapping into the grid. But if you don't, imagine what happens. We'll just get this really gnarly, like off the beat, crazy sounds. We don't want that. We don't want crazy sounds. All right, let's go ahead and listen.
Life as a parrot sweet, hanging on a branch in heat.
Yeah, I would take the drums down, just volume on the drums. Okay, so let's do some live sculpting too, because you can see what whoever is driving is just moving the volume down. I would say start it a little later. You kind of heard it, but you can go over to the left side of it and actually trim it to get just part of the sample. Because here, let me give it a listen. I have the same sample on my end. There's this, like, at the end of the loop, there's like this on the snare. I would say that could be the lead-in for her singing, and then just make sure that the beginning of the sample is snapped to the beginning of the measure, right? Yeah. So you can go to the left side of it and you can trim it just like you did on the right side, and then take just part of the sample. So yeah, you can play around with that later. Let's just go ahead and I liked that you took it down a little bit. I would take the guitar down a little too, and then we're not going to get into EQ and stuff like that. But right now, you can just do these very quick adjustments. Let's go ahead and pan the guitar slightly to the right, and then the drums just ever so slightly to the left, just so we can kind of hear for right now the voice right in the center. Yep, you got the panning tool right there, and ever so slightly, just to kind of create some space, since we're not EQing. All right, go ahead and let's listen again, and then I think we'll just kind of wrap up.
Life as a pairing
I like it.
sweet, hanging on a branch in heat. Never noticed quite why the good life's passing by. Tree above the cast its shade, beneath the sky I slowly fade. In the garden toil and strive, pairs a tough old kind of life.
Yeah. Okay.
The
So obviously,
trials of a
I love it.
pair in the orchard's heavy air.
Yeah, and so there, Mrs. Pixel, we have to kind of bring back in that, oh, the trials of a pair in the orchard,
Right.
and
Right.
go up to that high note again, in
Mhm.
the orchard's heavy air. Yeah.
In the orchard's
There it
heavy
is. There it
air.
is. Yeah. So as we continue working on this, we would fix that drum beat because things got a little shifted off to the side. It sounded like our drummer was doing some, morning imbibing. But so there's a lot of things that we just, as we go back and forth on this, we can just fix it, and I can keep coaching on it. And this is the things that you get being part of this community. Just because we want to make the world a more musical place, right? We want to make sure that everybody has the access to match their aspiration as they employ their agency. Boom.
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 How cool. How
Yeah.
fun. Like, wow.
Yeah.
I
Well,
can't believe my lucky stars. That was so much fun. And I'm just in awe of it all, how this transpired. Here we are in Bandlab, all these colorful layers on the screen.
Yep.
Like,
That I just took off the screen.
yeah,
Sorry.
no, that's fine. We're wrapping it up, I suppose. But I just have to say, I'm just in awe of how far, and the sculpting and all of that is just, I'm so excited to
Yeah.
see
No,
the final piece, and just hearing it in my head and having a different understanding of it, and it's all the pieces coming together.
yeah. And so what I I'm not going to pledge when I'm doing it, but sometime, hopefully before this Sunday, I'd love to finish a whole track for you to sing with, and doing your own arrangement. That's what all this is for, is to number one, make sure we're bringing our full self into singing. And that is, bringing mind, body, and spirit. The body started with the Bartinia fundamentals, going from an amoeba all the way through like our starfish self, and then our baby bird and the snake, and the butterfly, the frog, and then the horse or the dog or the cat or the human. This really complex cross-lateral moving creature that's our full physicality that we can bring into singing and release the tension. Singing is all about releasing tension. That's probably about 96% of singing, is just opening up to let your instrument flow and work, and then being supported with the breath. So the more we let go of things, the better we sing. It's counterintuitive because we're like, I have to work really hard for that high note. No, you just got to ground yourself, relax into it, and then boop, there it is. That is a whole new song. Boop, there it is. That's got to be a thing, right? Anyway,
Yeah,
that's
definitely got to be a thing.
that's got to be a thing. So
But
yeah, it's
exactly
our
how
full self.
it works. It is counterintuitive. So that's why a course like this is so beneficial to
Yeah.
bringing you into that understanding of, like, and showing up for it too is all
Hmm.
part of it. You got to go through the motions.
And what I learned yesterday, taking rest, there's exertion and recuperation. That's actually a whole other part of Bartinieff and Laban we didn't get to, is this, this phraseology that we have in life. There's the Laban approach of impulsive and impactive. And there's these, like we started at the beginning, we're talking about kind of dualities and these binary systems and these polarities. It's this or that, but it's really also everything in between. That is, we can be impulsive, but we can also be impactful. And there's this moving back and forth. There's also the inner outer connection. There's the patterns of exertion and recuperation. There's patterns of matching. Just being able to go into a room and get a snapshot of, wow, there's some emotional things going on in here just because of the way people are moving. And we observe things and we don't make conclusions about it, but we ask, I wonder questions. Like, that's the whole philosophy that is behind this technique, is applying this wonder and this curiosity and low stakes practice to singing, and it becomes play. I mean, that's why we play music, because it's
Right.
playful.
I think that's where most people starting from childhood learn the most throughout life is through play, right? It's simple.
Yeah. Well, and play is only a result of boredom. That's something that we don't typically allow ourselves to do anymore. We become the most playful when we are out of sync, with what's going on in the world. So it's our imagination trying to spark us to being like, all right, life is fun. Don't forget that. Life is low,
Wow.
life is connection. And when we allow ourselves to play and to come as our full selves, and be playful, that's the best way, I think, to show up, because that's where we can truly connect. When we don't have all the barriers up, when we don't have all the overthinking. I am a chronic overthinker. So when we can get playful about something, then we can drop that tension. So
How nice is that? And how rare that has become. What a thought.
mhm. What a thought. Yeah. Well, thank you. I just want to sincerely thank you. Public thank you, and Mr. Pixel, and the whole pair team. And I know you guys have so many projects going on, but you showed up. You made the time every day for 30 days, and then a day of rest, and then a post-mortem episode, and then we're starting something tomorrow as a team.
And
So
then,
we're,
and then, and then,
and
and
then
then,
and then and then
and then.
yes, and that's the other philosophy of life I like to go by. Yes, and instead of no, but.
Right.
It's way more powerful to say, yes, I acknowledge you, I affirm you, that idea is wonderful, and here are my thoughts, and here's how I'm going to start that tennis match, start that, let's ideate together. So we are starting something called, it's 7 o'clock somewhere, and it's going to be 7 a.m. on the west coast of America, where we are.
And it already sounds like a song
I
in my
know
head
it.
that
There's gonna
exists.
be, oh my gosh, yes, theme song contest. There we go. It's all right. You heard, 15 people watching live. You heard it here first. We're now officially
Yep.
launching a theme song contest. It can be AI generated. It can be guitar generated. It can be brain generated. But let's hear the best songs that are called "It's 7 o'clock somewhere," and we can feature them on our show. So, see, ideating live. Look at that.
The
Boom.
perfect way to end a challenge with the start of a new
New
challenge.
challenge. It's so perfect.
It's,
Yes.
it's
So that will be, this is going to be the hard part, but we'll figure it out, because I want to keep this at 7 o'clock every day. But for us, this is going meta for a second, and not like meta Facebook, but like meta. So for us as a collaborative team, when we know we have things coming up that we can't show up, at 7 a.m., that just means we pre-record something, or we adapt somehow, or we always have options if the barrier to showing up is time, so we can get creative. And
Blessed are the flexible.
yeah,
Which is
blessed are the
something I'm learning
flexible,
from Dan.
for they won't be bent, and which I learned from David Cohen. So I always like credit where credit is due. Blessed are the flexible, for they won't get bent out of shape. And it's such good life coaching. So, the benefit of showing up at the same time every day, and this is coming from a brand strategy, going meta there, is you're building dependability, you're building in, this routine for people that can show up live. And so that's always my MO. I do this with my other live stream shows now because, I'm a streamer. And with Donna Guerin is another amazing collaborator. And we have a Monday, Wednesday, Friday shows. We almost never are available now when the shows are actually airing, but if we are, we like to show up at that time because we can engage in the chat with people. And it just, there's something about that. This is actually live, not like a pre-recorded live, but there's that balance and that harmony of showing up at the same time when you can, when it makes sense, and then taking a break when it doesn't. So that's what I like to build into everything now, with this commitment to low stakes, because we can give ourselves the highest stakes when it's not really high stakes. But we become the perfectionists and everything. So we're gonna get playful with this. It's 7 o'clock somewhere. We'd love to hear you play your song called "It's 7 o'clock somewhere," but we are gonna do a live show tomorrow because we're kicking it off. So just I'll be posting about it today. I think the Pixels are posting about it. The Pairs will probably be posting about it. This is a really exciting thing. Yeah, that this is part of that partnership that can come from just showing up and meeting each other. They have this show Karaoke that we talked about at the beginning of the show. And once again, let me just kind of feature that little QR code so you can check out Orchard Brown and the original song we were just working on. But we have this thing that now it's 7 o'clock somewhere is an extension of Karaoke, and we're making something together, which is really exciting. So that's please come and join the fun tomorrow. It is going to be a live stream. We can invite folks into the studio, and it's not going to be a link that I post publicly because, first of all, we can only have 10 people in the studio at the same time. There's only 2 of us now. Well, two, and then our supporters in the room. But I also don't want. I want a layer of safety for this show as well. I'm an educator. I have a lot. I represent a nonprofit brand as well. So I want to make sure that we're keeping this a nice, family-friendly, safe show. To an extent. I host an open mic here every other Wednesday in Spokane, and I have the same thing. And it's something that we built after school for those students that maybe just don't have an activity or a sport or something, but they want to still connect. So it's been really cool seeing this whole youth presence coming to our open mic. So I'd love to just, we'll start this experiment called "It's 7 o'clock somewhere." And the reason we're doing it, at 7 a.m. Is because here, that's going to be a little early for West Coasters, but I love this idea of going global, like you see in my background, these global connections. So it is karaoke time on the other side of the world from us. It's going to be like 7 p.m. or 7:30 p.m. And I'm excited to bring in. Yeah,
widening the net.
And
it's going to be interesting because as this takes shape and form, and just seeing at those hours, because we're rise and shine, early bird gets the worm over here.
Yep.
And it's just like we're going to skyfish some people
Sky fishing. Whoa, is that a thing? Or
Thing.
did you need to trademark that? Or is that
I
it's
know,
already a
right?
thing? 'Cause sky fishing. I love that. I have not heard it before. I always get this. I get T-shirt ideas all the time.
Yeah,
That's a
right?
T-shirt. That should be a
Yeah.
T-shirt. We are sky fishers, and skywalkers. I don't
Yeah,
know. All right, time to
exactly.
close off because I need to actually get to a class in a couple minutes. But great to just have this closing chapter. It was very satisfying actually to take this big idea that sounded absolutely insane when I pitched it to you like 20 days ago. I'm like, let's do our own arrangement. Cool. you know, like I know we have the tools, but now we just did it. We put all the things in play, and see what I did
Um,
there. I just said play again. We
Yeah.
put things in play.
And we played around with it
And we
and we
played around
rolled
with
with it and
it.
we
Yep.
went with the flow and it just, wow.
We hit
Now
the
we're
play
looking back
button.
like, wow, we
Yeah.
did a thing. It
We did
was
the
so
whole
cool.
thing. Yeah. Well, again, just to close off, you
We did
guys
the
can
whole
still
thing.
join us. Like the challenge is over, but it's not because it's going to be in this nas.io / keep singing archived until there's no nas.io. And just look, following them, they're pretty rocking it. So it's also a great place to just build your own community platform. It's beginner friendly. I like beginner friendly things. I learned about it actually. Shout out to Christelle and the OCC One Click Creator Edu-Creator communities on X. So I would not have known about nas.io had it not been for that community. And now we just built our own community. And so this is kind of like that pay it forward, just like the background too of like a thing happened and now let's make that thing into a new thing and keep reaching out and keep empowering each other and open up access for our aspirations and take the agency to play.
Take it to church sometimes too.
Take it to church. Oh my gosh, I am singing that tomorrow.
You
I
need to
am
sing that.
singing that
You need to
tomorrow.
sing that. I need to
I
hear
will.
that.
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. All right. Well, I'll see you tomorrow for It's 7:00 somewhere, episode 1. Bye
We
for
will
now.
see you there.
Yeah. Make a beautiful day.
The more the merrier.
Woo.